Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video. I have had a realization about my wardrobe that I wanted to share with you because I am actually really surprised by this for myself and for my wardrobe. So in the past, I have definitely been someone who has defaulted to the color black. If I've worn something and I need like a cardigan or I need something to layer with it, I've gone for black. Or I've been in the, well, black goes with everything, and like, oh, I want to wear this top, I'll put on some black pants or a black skirt kind of mindset. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I have definitely done that. I still sometimes do that. But I recently had the realization that black, for me, in my wardrobe, is not a neutral. So about a year and a half ago, in May 2024, I had a color analysis done in person by a professional, someone who knows what they're doing, and it turns out that I am a soft summer. The reason I did the analysis was because I was curious. Partly it was all the rage, everyone was getting them done. I was, I suppose, a little bit influenced to get one done, but I was also just curious. I had done an online one where you uploaded a picture and then you picked your skin, hair, and eye color with a little dropper tool, and that said that I was a dark winter. So if you know anything about color analysis, you will know the stark contrast between a dark winter and a soft summer. They are possibly as far away from each other as they can get. Possibly, I'm not 100% sure on that, but they are very different. And when I did the online version, I then also did a style experiment. I will have a video linked for you, and picked items from my wardrobe that fitted that palette, and I wore them for, I think, a week. And there was a little bit of disagreement in the comments about if I nailed those colors or not, but I based it on what I saw on my screen from the palette and what I had in my wardrobe. I didn't go out and buy anything new to do that experiment. Either way, I had the analysis done in person. It was announced, declared to me that I was a soft summer, and I remember being a little bit disappointed. Not with the appointment, not with the person, that was all fine and great and good, but when I saw my palette, it just did not feel like me. It did not feel like the colors I dress in. And I came home and I made this video in which I used that little swatch color fan thing and just went around and compared it to all of my clothes, and basically nothing was in that color scheme, in that, you know, color family, whatever the hue, saturation, depth, I have no idea, whatever it was supposed to be, it just wasn't matching well at all. And I never set out to change my wardrobe to be more quote-unquote suited to my palette. I did it as a fun thing, and I wanted to see how well I'd been dressing myself, sort of, compared to my color season. Like, was I already subconsciously dressing according to my season? Heck no. I certainly was not. And it was kind of funny to see that. And since then, in the past year and a half, I have been acquiring more things. I have been thrifting this year as well, and you know, what remained of last year as well. And I do not think that I have entered a lot of pieces into my wardrobe that are part of my season. And that to me doesn't matter. Like, again, I didn't set out to change my entire wardrobe. I do not feel a need to dress for my season, but it was just fun to me to see if I'd done that subconsciously, which again, I had not. And also over the past couple of years, I have been steering more towards color. And I say couple of years, it's definitely longer than that. My husband is extremely colourful in his presentation, in his wardrobe. It's very colourful. And when we met, I was definitely more, not full on black, but I was definitely more muted, I'd say, in my colours. I didn't wear as much colour. And he's definitely influenced me over the past 10 years, and I'm not mad about it. I do really enjoy wearing colour. It makes me a lot happier to see my clothes and see my own reflection in the mirror when I'm wearing something like this, something colourful, compared to wearing something very black and dark. I do wear a lot of white, which yes, is a neutral and not colourful, but even so, colour has really been where I've been steering myself in recent years, which may also mean the last decade. With that being said though, I definitely do have black items in my wardrobe, and this year I have also acquired some black items. I have acquired a black cardigan, 2 pairs of black trousers, and a few other things that have or mostly are black. What I want to get to though is that recently I was going to wear one of those new to me black pair of trousers. They're this gorgeous black obviously black pair of trousers. They're high-waisted, they're quite fitted in the legs, and they have these embroidered flowers on them, also in black. So like from afar, it just looks like a pair of black pants, but up close they are a little bit more fun than that. And I put them on and I was like, I need to put on a top with this because I can't just wear pants. I'm not Winnie the Pooh. Reverse Winnie the Pooh. I need to wear a top. Either way. And I looked at my wardrobe, and granted, a lot of my things, my most worn things perhaps, were in the wash because our washing machine conveniently broke around the same time, so we had quite the mountain of laundry to get done. Even so, I was looking around my wardrobe and I was like, I don't really have a lot of things that I feel go with these pants. I feel like everything is too soft compared to the black. Black is so far to the dark end. I mean, if we go light to dark, obviously they're dark, but it was just such a stark contrast. And wearing something like I'm wearing today, which is this light green sort of knit tank top and this pink overshirt, it would not, to me, at least in that moment, have looked good with black. And so it took me a while to decide on what would work to pick an outfit. And in the end, I settled on a green, like a really bright saturated green turtleneck that I got this year. And the following time I wore those pants, I settled on a red knit jumper that I also got this year. And I'm not saying it only worked because I got those pieces new and I got those pants new and like I've got them to go together and I got them to be their own color palette thing. I did not do that. But a lot of pieces in my wardrobe that I had access to that were clean would not have looked as good with those trousers. And it really made me think that black is not a neutral for me. In the past, I've definitely veered towards grays and blacks and also white. White has been on the other end of the spectrum. But in recent years, I, for some reason, have been very drawn to beige. And that sounds so unlike me, partly because I've been so drawn to black and grey in the past. Those have been the neutrals I have thought are my neutrals and neutrals I like and neutrals I go for. But beige has really stepped up for some reason. It sounds silly. I have just never seen myself as someone who wears beige or is drawn to beige, though beige I think I've seen as more of a like home neutral. Like if I was gonna paint my walls a neutral color, I would paint them beige and not grey. Is that me rebelling against millennial grey? No idea. Even so, I have never really seen myself as someone who wears beige, but in the last years I've started wearing more beige, and I now have very little grey instead in my wardrobe, not because I don't like the color, but because I simply have outgrown the pieces I've had, or for some reason they have not been staying. Like I've lost a couple of skirts that were grey because they do not fit me anymore. And when I think about it, it's been a long time since I had a lot of grey tops. I think for a long time when it came to me doing color, it was color on top and then neutral on the bottom. And it was jeans, or it was black pants, or it was a grey skirt, or it was that. But then the color was up here. And like I talked about in this video, I haven't worn jeans in a year. I don't own any jeans. I own some denim, but no jeans. And now my grey skirts are out of my wardrobe because they don't fit me. And so I've been sort of running out of grey, I guess. And I now have two black pairs of pants, the ones I mentioned, and another pair. And I have some skirts that are at least partially black. And then I have other items, like I have my tailcoats that are fully black, you know? But starting to realize that black isn't really much of a neutral in my wardrobe. And I don't know what that makes it. Does that make it a complete outlier that doesn't go with my wardrobe at all? I'm kind of making it sound like that. Is it like a contrast color that I whip out occasionally? Maybe? I didn't finish that thought. I didn't figure that out before I sat down to film, but I don't know, I just feel like it's not as good of a color in my wardrobe as I would think. And I brought up the whole color analysis thing, and I feel it worth mentioning that in the soft summer palette, black does not exist. Black is not a color that suits me, that works with my palette. But again, I don't dress according to my palette, so that should not be a thing that factors in here. But I just found it really interesting that I've realized that thing with black. And yes, I definitely do have items. Like I said, I have that green sweater, I have that red sweater, I have a few other things as well that would look good with black. But I feel like those colors for me, these days at least, need to be really saturated and bright to work. I can't is a strong word, but I don't want to wear something sort of soft-ish, like these colors, with black, because I think that would just be too harsh for me and how I like to dress these days. And I thought that was interesting. I definitely think that me veering more towards color in recent years has had an impact on this. Like, it's made me want to wear more and more color and match color with color or pair color with color, as opposed to in the past where, like I said, I'd put on a neutral bottom and a colorful top kind of thing. Now, I am filming this in October. It is getting cold. Fall is definitely here now. It took a while, but it's here now. And it may have something to do with the fact that we're leaving summer. And summer for me and my summer wardrobe, like the things I have that work in summer temperature-wise, are a lot brighter as well. It may just be that I have to do that shift. You know, I have to think of fall and winter. I have to lean into that, which does not mean that I want to do the, oh, it's dark outside, I'll wear something dark. I don't want to do that. I'm more thinking like, oh, but these pieces that have been and are summer appropriate because they're thin and they're comfortable fabrics and weights of fabrics and all that, also just happen to be more colorful. Sometimes because that's just how they're produced, you know, but also because that's what I've been acquiring. And now that we're entering into fall winter, maybe the knitwear I have works better with black than something like this that I might have worn in July, you know? It's an interesting thing, at least to me, and I just wanted to share that with you. And I think moving forward, it's something I've been trying to do, I suppose, but I think moving forward, I should really limit the amount of black items that I introduce into my wardrobe. Like I said, I have introduced some this year, but I have also said in the past that for me to introduce a black item into my wardrobe, it needs to be really, really basic or really special. This year I have done a bit of both. I said I got 2 black pairs of pants. One is plain, just black, thin, relatively thin, just high-waisted, wide leg, normal pants, nothing special to them. And then the other pair that I mentioned are the ones with the floral embroidery, which instead makes them more special. But I think I should maybe be a little bit harder on myself with this as well, that it has to be a really special black item and not a basic one, because I have basics in other colors, I think. I mean, we could argue about that. I've gone through the wardrobe essentials or wardrobe basics that you need in your wardrobe, lots of quotation marks there, and not really agreed and not really felt like I have those in my wardrobe, but my wardrobe still definitely works. I don't run around naked. That's not something I do. So I have things I get dressed in, but I feel like they're not always the essentials, you know? But like I said, I think maybe moving forward I should be more restrictive with the black items that enter into my wardrobe, and they have to be really special to get to enter. And the thing is also, I'm rarely ever on the lookout for a black item. That's not true for the plain pair of trousers. More on that in a different video, either upcoming or linked. I'm not sure when that will be up. I'm filming out of order, but I generally don't go looking for black items. One of the thrift stores I go to a lot is actually divided up by color. So there is a white corner area, a blue one, a green one, a yellow one, and so on. And the area that has the black clothes is definitely the largest, but also the one that I tend to try to avoid, because I don't need more black items in my wardrobe, as I've stated 37 times in this video. But the black floral trousers I mentioned are from that store because I was there with Teresa, and she wears a lot more black than I do. It's really a staple color in her wardrobe as opposed to mine. And she found them and she tried them on and they didn't fit her. And so I saw them because she was trying them on. They didn't fit her, and I was like, I really like the embroidery on those pants. May I try them on? And I did, and they fit me. And then I was hooked, you know? But yeah, I think moving forward, I need to be even more restrictive with the black items that enter into my wardrobe, and I want them to be special and I want to really like them. With that being said, there are items I have that have black in them, but black is not a dominant color in them. And regardless, I'm not going to gather up all my black items and donate them to the thrift store tomorrow. I like the black items that I have, but I want the ones to enter moving forward to be really special and to be items I really love. And I think that's something I can challenge myself to do. I think that's not going to be too difficult. I think that's something I can definitely do. I have also looked at my wearing / my wardrobe and just counted the black items that I have. And I have 21 items in my wardrobe that have black in them. Sometimes that is a black and white 50-50 kind of piece, like this dress, for example, or it's items that just have a little bit of black in them, but mostly other colors or another color. And 13 out of those 21 items are predominantly black. 13 items. Granted, I have a large selection of clothing. I have much more than that. The black makes out about 6 to 10% of my wardrobe. I don't remember why it was 6 to 10. I think I manually counted, but I'm also not fully sure that my wearing is completely updated with what is archived. Yes, but about 6 to 10%, say it's 10%. 10% of my wardrobe being black does not need to increase, I feel like, based on what I like to wear. But with all that rambling out of the way, that is all I have for you today. I would love to hear in the comments down below if black is a big part of your wardrobe, if you rarely ever use it, what your neutrals are. I don't know if I want to say the beige is one of my new neutrals. It's definitely a neutral color, sure. I do have a lot of white, I guess that is a neutral, but I do also pair a lot of color with color. This is color with color, you know? I do a lot of that. So I would love to hear your take on that in your wardrobe in the comments down below, and I'll be back with another video soon, so I hope to see you then. Bye!